Terraria Lore V2! It's happening.
Yeah.
Also, Google Docs has chat, and I had no idea.
Woo.
Also... That! Much better! It appeared! Magically appeared!
I'm recording. Yeah. That's cool. Terraria lore. That exists.
V2! Yes, V2. Ha 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 ha.
This is a collaboration
Ha
with the
ha
Dragon's
ha
Soul.
ha ha. Oh, by the way, River, don't go down to the bottom page.
Why not?
Actually, do that. Go down to the bottom page.
Perfect.
Yes,
Very
it's
professional.
been playing for quite a while now on the video. People have been rickrolled
Yep.
officially.
We have
Okay.
all been officially bricked.
I'm gonna start now. Forest. The Terrarian world was once a deathly wasteland filled with molten lava and ash. One day, the dark forces of the world attacked the Black Temple. The Terrarian knight was killed, although he wasn't fully killed. He came back in his second form to serve as a guide and a protector to keep the ancient spirits of light and dark at bay. When the guide had appeared, he had cured the land of its corruption and pushed the underworld back to a deep layer, never to be seen again. Although the guide was not able to cure the lands completely, the crimson and corruption remained to consume the land and all the creatures living in it. Consumption.
This isn't actual Terraria lore. This is just secondary
This is a second
lore.
variant and is based off of normal Terraria lore.
Yes.
Like, not normal Terraria lore.
Mm-hmm.
Desert.
Yeah.
We do desert.
Okay. When the guide cured the land, it left some of the purified ashes as a reminder of the terrors it once held. The desert had a powerful beast. The beast was known as the Dune Serpent. When Cthulhu attacked the land, he split the Dune Serpent into many tomb crawlers and dune splicers. He also cursed the land of spirits that roamed the land under the cloak of sandstorm.
Snow. When the guide cured the land, it also inverted a small part of it, creating the snow biome. The snow biome was one of the purest areas in the world, or that is until they were ravaged by Cthulhu. When Cthulhu attacked, he cursed the snow biome to create new creatures underground and a golem of ice to come in the cloak of a snowstorm.
Eventually, the forest spread across the land, came into a lush patch of mud. This created the jungle. The jungle continued to spread, creating unseen life that are both tame and hostile. When the guardian of the spirits of light and dark is killed, the spirits corrupt the jungle. Powerful blossoms bloom to summon a great beast when destroyed. When the bloom was created, another race of intelligent life had built a temple to house them, and their great golem had been created.
Ocean. The large oceans of lava were converted into a new resource known as water. Upon this conversion, it also purified the creatures living in the lava. These creatures range from jellyfish to sea snails and sharks to squid. Sometimes you will find a purified obsidian chest or the ashen trees that were turned to coral.
The crimson is one of the evils that remained when the world was purified. The crimson feeds on the blood and souls of the fallen creatures and uses it to spread across the land, consuming anything and everything in its path. The crimson is the heart of the world and also has a want to keep the world balanced whilst consuming everything and causing destruction.
Corruption. The corruption is a disease that is spreading across the world. It will consume the soul of all creatures it comes across and use it to empower the armies it is keeping hidden until the perfect time to strike. The corruption was the army that was attacking the Black Temple at the Battle of the Great Temple.
The Hollow is the force of the purest purity in the world, and the only force strong enough to hold it back the crimson and corruption. It is a chaotic realm, and the old gods of Hollow forged a powerful artifact that has the capabilities to teleport any living being for a price. That being can only use it occasionally, or it will suffer immense pain. It used its willpower into it by the gods to infinitely duplicate itself, and corrupt the humans left in the Hollow.
The sky was once a smoke-filled wasteland with giant immortal floating gelatinous beings. These beings froze into the sky islands and the elderly ones froze into sky lakes. The demonic houses mostly crumbled, but the remaining houses floated on top of the sky islands. The demons and bone serpents that once roamed the sky were purified and turned into harpies and wyverns.
Underworld. The underworld was a remaining part of the world that was driven back by the guide to the depths of the world. The demons and serpents remained, trying to keep everything and everyone at bay. A few unlucky bats and slimes got corrupted, and the demons are constantly reproducing. Some of the demons here practice voodoo magic and carry voodoo dolls. These voodoo dolls are to get revenge on the guide. If you throw one into lava here, it will summon the guide hidden. But if you can't seem to get your hands on one of these dolls, you can throw the guide in himself.
Dungeon. The dungeon was once a thriving castle, but when Skeleton was freed in the cloth, the air was cursed. It cursed the rest of the citizens. They are very powerful and will try their best to stop the player. They
King Slime.
they
Oh, yep.
cower until the great beast in the jungle is defeated because they know it is the leader of the great tribe in the jungle.
King
Okay.
Slime. The King Slime was one of the gelatinous blobs of the underworld, and is the leader of the slimes. He is constantly spewing slimes of all shapes and sizes everywhere. He trapped the twin sibling of the warrior that fought at the battle of the Great Temple, and his brown has the power to make all peasant slimes become friendly.
Crown.
That is the best typo I've ever seen ever.
Eye of Cthulhu. The Eye of Cthulhu is the ripped out Eye of Cthulhu. It is one of the body parts ripped out by the Dryads. Dryads. It watches you more intensely when you get stronger. Eventually, when you are strong enough, it will attack. It absorbs demon eyes to become stronger and releases their husks to fight for him during the fight.
Eater of Worlds. The Eater of Worlds is a corrupted worm creature. It is also ripped out intestines of Cthulhu. The Eater of Worlds would digest planets for Cthulhu. It has extremely powerful self-healing powers that cause it to split into two if one of its segments is damaged too much.
Brain of Cthulhu. The brain of Cthulhu is Cthulhu's brain and the hive mind of the world. It controls the minds of all who fall into its wrath. It will make you turn against yourself and cause you to rip yourself apart slow enough that you turn into a giant scab and it isn't fatal.
Skeletron. Skeletron is the ripped-out skeleton of Cthulhu. He was contained by the legs before they died out. The queen bee was trapped with him and fed on his power, but shrunk him to a size smaller than he once was. The cultist eventually found him and freed him, cursing the old man as a vessel to contain him. They hoped to use him to fight back against Cthulhu if he ever returned.
Queen bee. The queen bee is a mutated leader of the bees. When Skeletron was sealed away, it sealed away a bee too, and this bee slowly fed on Skeletron's body until it was large enough to fight back if Skeletron tried to kill it. When the cultists freed Skeletron, they decided to leave the queen bee alive so it could help fight back against Cthulhu.
Wait, just a second, Jacobs.
I'll just read this one. Wall of Flesh. The Wall of Flesh is the guide's second form that comes when the guide is burned from lava. He is the guardian of the ancient spirits that Cthulhu let free when he was driven back to the dark side of the moon. He is made of all the human sacrifices and has recently reached his peak in power. He has the heart of a demon, but the determination to keep the world at balance. If he is killed, he will create the Hallow with his remaining wave to drive back the Crimson and Corruption.
Queen Slime. The Queen Slime is the King Slime's long-lost wife. He created her using some of his power and his most powerful troops, Pinkies. She had finally been finished when the Wall of Flesh was killed, and she roams the Hollow, posing as a harder, better, faster, stronger version of the King Slime.
Reference. Mech bosses. The mech bosses were the work of the merchant, knowing that Cthulhu was not going to last long during the onslaught. He made backup eyes, intestines, and a skeleton, and the brain was replaced by his best creation yet, Mechadusa. He programmed an AI into the mechs, so they wouldn't need a bulky brain. When combined, the mech bosses made the mechanical Moon Lord. He called it Mechadusa. He was hoping it could be a backup if the Moon Lord died. When he was cured of his trance of Cthulhu, he was horrified by his creation and fled to another world. He is only attracted by money, because it is shiny and reminds him of the old days.
Plantera. Plantera is a giant mutated plant that feeds on the escaped souls that were trapped in the mech bosses' bodies. She was a seedling before they were killed, but now she is huge, and her bulbs spread across the jungle. She was the protector of the Lizard Temple and the bearer of the. She controlled their minds and was the leader of the lizard escapees, the Cheese.
Empress of Light. The Empress of Light is a Terrarian goddess of light. She controls color and light in the Terrarian world. Her prismatic lace wings were attracted to Plantera and were trapped inside. She comes to the Terrarian world if Plantera is killed.
Golem is the Lizard Temple idol. He lives in the temple dungeon. He was credited to be protector of the dungeon for the Lizard if Plantera failed. He would protect them, and new bearer of the temple key to keep the Lizard people safe.
Duke Fishron. Duke Fishron was an eldritch duke for an underwater kingdom centuries ago. He stopped the old Water King by ending his reign of terror. The kingdom fell, but Duke Fishron remained. He lives in the Terrarian Ocean, wandering around and coming up if he sees his favorite snack, the truffle worm. He will come up and relentlessly attack anyone in his way from the truffle worm.
Lunatic Cultist. The Lunatic Cultist is the leader of the cultists. He was the one who resurrected Skeletron and put him into the Old Man as a defender if Cthulhu came back. They were being held prisoner by the Lizards, who worshipped Cthulhu. When he defeat Golem, they can finally come back to their dungeon and perform their ritual to try to repel Cthulhu. They had cursed the dungeon, making an undead army to fight back with Skeletron. When you kill him, the ritual fails and Cthulhu's armies can attack.
Moon Lord. The Moon Lord is Cthulhu, and the menace the cultists were trying to repel. He was the target of the Dryads and the one who got his body parts ripped out. His troops are the creatures of the universe, and he is empowered by the dark side of the moon.
The Lizards. The Lipsards are the tribe that built the Jungle Temple, the ones who worshipped Cthulhu. They were the ones that brought him to the land to ravage, so that they would not have to deal with pests of the world, and so the riches would be revealed.
So yeah, you're the villain. You're the one trying to bring that accidentally tries to bring Cthulhu back. It's a fact.
Wait, I gotta do one thing. This lore isn't meaningless, so I'm just gonna do one thing. I gotta do the word scramble. The word scramble of literal nonsense.
Okay, where's the word scramble?
I need the pen. Does that in entirety spell it? HELLBORNE. So that's the word scramble.
If you can unscramble it, then you know what the mod that we are creating is called.
And
Let's
we're
do it.
eventually, once we learn how to
Goodbye,
do stuff,
goodbye, old friend.
gonna make a devlog.
Bye.
Yeah.
That is the end of today's video.